like the sun, if snowy white her breasts are done. And that is our description done, for she is a lady. She's but a lady.
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Much time has passed since I last saw you. How do you fare?
In truth, not well, Dr. Foreman, not well at all.
Then I am full sorry for it, madam. Pray, tell me what manner of ill has befallen you.
First, I must beseech your pardon, sir, for methinks Mr. S. may verily be my prowler after all, as you did surmise.
Think nothing of it, madam. But what has made you change your mind about him?
I have been publicly humiliated. Mr. S. has been circulating a collection of insulting sonnets about an unnamed dark lady, and all of London thinks this dark lady is me.
Well, your complexion is rather, that is to
I
say...
am described as having foul breath and black wires for hair, though methinks the very worst line is the one that tells of a gross body rising at the utterance of my name. And I cannot abide illusions, Dr. Foreman. If Mr. S. wishes to reference bodily levitation and other such cheap stage magic, he would do well to leave my name out of it. My interest is in the dramatic arts, not fairground attractions.
I am not sure that is quite his meaning.
Dr. Foreman, you know of Mr. William Shakespeare, then? Do not tell me you have read the sonnets.
Well, I own that I have. But as you did remark, madam, all of London has read them.
Oh, well, I am undone. My professional reputation is now utterly spoiled, for now the whole world will look upon me as naught but Mr. Shakespeare's fancy wench. No longer will they judge me on my own merits.
Let us hope it is not as grave as that, madam. Have you discoursed upon the matter with him?
Nay, I dare not confront him about it. For we are almost at an end with our work on a play, and I dare not risk it not being staged.
Then let us see what the stars advise. What may Mistress Lanier do to restore her professional reputation? You are right to be concerned about the damage to your reputation, Mistress Lanier, for there is a danger that your partnership with Mr. Shakespeare and his depiction of you in his sonnets will forever overshadow your own literary achievements.
God's womb. But what can I do to forestall such an injustice?
I suggest you spread a rumour of your own about another lady. For instance, there is a brothel owner in Clerkenwell they call Black Luce. If you were to put it about that she is the subject of Shakespeare's sonnets, 'twould do her reputation no harm. Indeed, the effect would be quite the reverse, for doubtless there be many a man at present who would pay handsomely for a tumble with Shakespeare's dark lady.
Well, indeed. I do feel 'tis most important to advance the interests of my fellow women, especially those seeking to make their way in business. Oh, do you see that, Dr. Foreman? 'Tis your mute Italian querent, Signor Ferraro. He is staring at us through the window.
Is he? Then doubtless he has come for another consultation.
Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Good day, senor, and well met.
Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great Dottore Simon Foreman.
Indeed, I did recognize you, senor. How may I assist you this day?
I am ill. I tell you my problems. First the problem. I do make a chandar in the morning. Next the problems. My belly does swell and my chest tis a most tender to the touch. And now, for the very most terrible of problems. I have the big fears. One moment I do weep, and the next I do curse and gnash my teeth. So, Dottore, you tell what ails me, huh? You wanna make a water into this cup? Un momento, I make the water.
Nay, not in my... prithee, hold. If you please, senor. As with our previous consultations, I shall be judging your illness by reading the stars.
So, you need not of my...
Nay, senor, I have no need of it. Whilst 'tis true that most physicians do spy and sniff their patients' urine, I find this method of piss-pot diagnosis most imprecise. Indeed, the practice is quite primitive. 'Tis my belief that if medicine is to advance in this modern age, we must all adopt a more scientifical method. I am quite sure history will bear me out on this question.
This scientifical method. 'Tis reading my diagnosis in the stars?
Precisely so. Speaking thereof, perchance we may consult the stars now. What illness troubles Signor Riccardo Ferraro? This is exceeding strange. Your complaints of a tender chest, morning purges, swelling, along with the positions of the planets, they suggest you are with child.
You would judge me, a man, as being with a child? God's blood! What kind of a dottore are you?
Well, indeed, it does seem strange. I may have gotten my calculations wrong. Unless, of course, your moustache is naught but a canning disguise. But I jest, senor. 'Twas not my intention to doubt your manliness.
You jest! A lady who would disguise herself as a man? So silly. I think you see too many plays by Mr. Shakespeare, huh? Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Are you verily sure that your dinner is clean? At me explain how food causes your pain, but your friends and relations are very mean.
Good day, Mr. Mugg. Pray tell, did the matter with the, cherries resolve itself in the end?
Those sugar crystals you gave me did work wondrous well. Verily, Dr. Foreman, methinks you should fashion this medicine into little round pills and sell them by the score. I warrant you would make your fortune.
Yes, if only I could have my querents believe that mere sugar pills were the cure for all their ills, great and small, I would be a very rich man indeed, would I not? And what may I assist you with this day, Mr. Mugg?
I have the spotted fever. I must begin treatment now, or else I will...
Hold, sir. The spotted fever is exceeding rare. Why would you think you have such a disease?
Well, sir, not only am I covered all over in red spots, I have lately taken to chundering, such as are the very symptoms listed in the medical book I did read. I am already taking the treatment Mr. Cogan prescribes, but now I require...
You mean to say you have read Thomas Cogan's Haven of Health? Why, that is a most technical book, writ for doctors and medical students. How did you come to be reading it?
My friend George Sprottle did bind a printing of it in his shop. He kindly let me spy some pages afore 'twas sent up to Cambridge. Oh, but Dr. Foreman, I forget myself. You have no medical degree, so you doubtless have not read it. Mayhap if I ask George nicely...
Sir, let us consult the stars and see if they may tell us what ails you. You do indeed suffer from the spotted fever, Mr. Mugg. Now, as to your cure. Aye, it does require some uncommon ingredients that I do not keep here in my chambers at present. A moment, pray, while I write this down. Here, take this recipe to your apothecary and have him make you up a preparation. Take a spoonful each morning until your red spots disappear.
Ooh, ground up horns of a deer, and cinnamon, how very fine, and this red coral from the South Seas.
Aye, verily. Nothing but the finest of cures for my loyal querents.
It is just as well for us that I did consult Mr. Cogan's book, is it not, Dr. Foreman? On my word, my wife was very wrong to doubt him. I shall tell her you said so. One thing more, if you please, Dr. Foreman, for I feel I must give ye warning. A great storm is coming. I feel it in my bones, and my bones do always speak true. You would do well to bide indoors at the first sign of wind and rain. God keep you well, Dr. Foreman.
Almighty God, guide servant Thomas Black, reach forth thy gracious hand, and slap sense into him.
Good morrow, Dean Blagg. How fare you this day?
Well, Dr. Foreman, I must own that I do not fare well, for my recent investments have left me in a rather vexing financial position.
Verily, that is ill to hear.
Aye, Sir Walter Raleigh's quest for El Dorado failed most woefully. His ships did return with naught but a few sacks of worthless root vegetables. I cannot fathom it. We are Englishmen. We do not eat vegetables. I do wish you had forewarned me, Foreman.
Indeed, 'tis a pity the stars were not more forthcoming.
Oh, but that is all by the by, for you will be pleased to know that I put my remaining fortune into a new venture so assured of success that I will make all my money back and more.
Assured, you say? How very reassuring.
I have invested in an expedition to intercept a fleet of Spanish ships carrying gold back from the New World. For this expedition, Sir Walter Raleigh will be joined by that famous military genius, Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex. So success is virtually guaranteed. There is but one small worry, however.
Ah, only one?
Aye. 'Tis that Raleigh and Essex set sail full 2 months past, but there is yet no tidings of them. Such silence is a trifle vexing. Have they yet captured the Spanish treasure ships? Surely no ill has befallen them.
A most vexing mystery indeed. Let us see whether the stars can tell us what has become of this expedition. Bad tidings for your family's fortune, I fear. The Earl of Essex and Sir Walter Raleigh did sail their fleet into the middle of nowhere, with not a Spanish treasure ship in sight. It would seem their geographical information was at fault, having been obtained from a most unreliable and untrustworthy authority.
Truly? I am ruined. Zoons! My goose is cooked! Mistress Blarg will have me baked into pies!
Why must this wench act so distressed? Mayhap she can't abide a jest. No welcome love and 'tis professed. What an ungrateful lady! What an ungrateful lady!
Good day, Mistress Lanier. Pray, come in and take comfort by the fire. The wind is fierce and cold this day.
Did you see him this time, Dr. Foreman? He did it again. He ran off the moment he saw me.
See who, madam?
Your patient, Signor Ferraro.
Ah, verily? Indeed, I was expecting him to come for a consultation this day. But he changed his mind and ran off, you say. How very mysterious.
Truly, 'tis as if all men are determined to use me ill.
Surely not all men, madam. I, for one, remain most devotedly at your service. My dear lady, I do not need to read the stars to see that something grave has befallen you. Pray, tell me what it is.
Yesterday I did meet with Mr. Shakespeare to discourse upon our new play, which is to open this week at the theatre in Shoreditch. But though I was determined not to confront him about the sonnets he wrote about me, 'twas difficult to hide the heaviness I did feel in his company.
I can well imagine, madam.
So then, well, he remarked upon my dark humour. To wit, he said to me, "Amelia, your pretty brow does furrow, so I will kiss it smooth."
And I sense that you did not receive this well?
Indeed, I did not. Forsooth, I was so enraged by this, I reversed my flagon of ale full over his head.
Ah.
Whereon he rose from his stool, declaring I was the most ungrateful and unworthy wench in all of Christendom, and then he flew out of the tavern like a bat from out the gates of hell.
A most vivid image, and no doubt most apt. Men who work in playhouses are prone to indulging in such melodrama, of course. Why so many ladies care for such men in preference of those employed in solid, stable professions, I shall never understand.
And if only that were all. For this morning I saw a bill advertising our play posted on a wall in my street. It bears his name and not mine.
Verily? Surely not. Mayhap there has been some error made.
Nay, Dr. Foreman, 'tis no error, for I rushed to the theatre to see what was amiss, but I was refused admittance. Indeed, the player who came to the door denied all knowledge of my collaboration on the play. Methinks Mr. Shakespeare is exacting his petty vengeance upon me for rejecting his sly suit by denying me credit for my work, and he means to deal with me by pretending I do not exist, as if I were a ghost. Or is it he who has become the ghost? In truth, I am not yet sure how that metaphor should work.
What monstrous perfidy! Pray tell me what I might do to punish this wretched scribbler. Though I am not adept with a sword, I do have a book that instructs in how to command nefarious spirits.
Oh, prithee, sir, I am come not in search of vengeance, but to seek answers. As you know, I have been ill-treated by my husband, and now I am betrayed by Mr. Shakespeare. Pray, read the stars and answer me this, Dr. Foreman. Will I ever be able to trust, even love, a man again?
To your question of whether there yet be a man in this world worthy of your trust and affections, forsooth, I have never seen an arrangement of stars that speaks so clearly.
Verily? Then pray tell, what answer does it give?
My dear lady, the answer you seek need not be divined by reading the stars. It may be read in the signs you see before you now. To wit, the answer you seek is right in front of you.
I am afeard I do not follow, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis your feather quill, a half-eaten apple, your desk is a little untidy, and I must confess the symbolism in Flemish still-life painting has always quite confounded me. Take a skull, for instance. What sense does a skull make alongside a bowl of... Below. 'Tis clear to me now, your face was always hid in shadow, but 'tis you, Mr. Foreman. You are the man who has been prowling me these last months.
Dearest, loveliest Amelia, allow me to profess to you my undying admiration for your charms, which are not insignificant.
God's womb, et tu, Dr. Foreman. Fie, you of all men to betray me thus. But 'tis true. I now see the answer. For I know now never again to trust a man to guide me. Henceforth, I shall write under my own name, and when there are decisions to be made, I shall take my own counsel and make my own judgments. By the by, methinks I do at last understand that prediction you made for me some years ago, Dr. Foreman. The one about how belief is required if I am to succeed. 'Tis a belief I must hold not in the inevitability of my own personal success, but of the successes of the women who will come after me. Farewell, Dr. Foreman, and clean your desk. Verily, 'tis quite disgusting.
Lancelot Moore is of a great house. Much does depend, much, on his choice of a spouse. He must be well, whose consequence wealth, no matter the cost to love and to health.
Good day to you, young sir, and well met. You are Lancelot Moore of Middlesex, are you not? What an honour it is to welcome a son of the great house of Moore to my humble consulting chambers.
'Tis indeed I, Lancelot Moore. I will own it. But hear this. My family is ignorant of my designs in coming here, and I wish them to remain so. Which is why I come to you, Mr. Foreman, for methinks you are not such a man who would ever find himself in the company of a family such as ours.
Ah, well, you may count upon my discretion, Mr. Moore. And what is the matter that brings you this day?
'Tis that my family wish me to marry my wretched cousin Barbara.
And I take it you would not wish to comply?
Nay, I verily would not. Cousin Barbara is a vile little minx. She loves nothing more than to sport with me and play cruel japes. Last Christmas, she even hid a dead mouse in my mince pie.
The lady does seem most spirited.
The lady? Oh, pish! Cousin Barbara is hardly a lady, for she is not 14 years of age. It is most unnatural to ask a grown man to wed a child.
Indeed it is. 'Tis my belief that in these enlightened times we should consider—
Verily, Barbara be damned. My heart belongs to a true woman, not a freckled, scrawny slip of a girl. A full-blossomed woman.
A woman, you say?
Aye, Marion, my other cousin.
I see.
Ah, Marion. So beguiling are her shapely charms. Oh, to lie, if not to die, in Marion's arms. So soft her lips, so sweet her face. Oh, how I yearn for her embrace. In me she hath such passion stirred, a fever rises in my— But nay, I pray for death, and would be martyred if from her I be thus parted. And so you see, you must help me forestall this wretched marriage, so that I might wed my sweet cousin Marion. Mr. Foreman? Mr. Foreman?
Yes, indeed. Let us see what the stars advise. How might Mr. Moore avoid this marriage to his cousin Barbara? is apparent you do not wish to marry your cousin Barbara. But have you considered whether she wishes to marry you?
Nay, but I cannot think why she would not want to marry me. I am exceeding eligible.
Aye, doubtless you are, Mr. Moore. But do you not think her unkind japes may indicate she harbours some degree of malice towards you?
Mayhap you are right. I did find a toad in my bed Thursday last. 'Tis as if Barbara were possessed by a demon.
Very possibly. And thus possessed, she may be distracted and not wholly aware of your, fine qualities. I advise you to simply bide your time, for the stars suggest she is a cunning maid who plans to thwart the marriage using a method of her own devising.
Verily? Then I will leave it all to Barbara, as you advise. But it shall be on your head if I'm forced to marry her, Mr. Foreman.
Hear ye! Spanish Armada nears English coast. Nation prepares for invasion whilst Queen searches for missing navy. Hear ye!
Wench, be sure to marry, lest ye be branded a witch. If Mary sees you keeping cats against you, she will snitch. Beware of Mistress Mary Page, she is a nosy fa. La 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 la.
Blessed even, Dr. Foreman.
Mistress Payne, what brings you in such weather? 'Tis most dangerous to be about in it.
Oh, it takes more than a little wind and rain to forestall me from doing the Lord's work. Besides, foul weather is naught but God's righteous vengeance upon London for the sinful debauchery of its inhabitants.
Verily? Then I dread to think what northerners get up to of an evening.
Pray heed me carefully, Dr. Foreman, for 'tis on a most pressing matter that I am come. Doubtless you have heard the news. The Spanish Armada does sail once again towards England's shores. It seems this latest armada was most unexpected.
Well, as 'tis oft said, no one expects the Spanish Armada.
'Tis very grave this time, for I have heard tell that our own warships are far away at sea, and with our coasts undefended, a Catholic horde may soon be sailing up the Thames to slay us all.
Aye, our situation is most grave indeed. But what would you have me tell you, Mistress Payne?
I wish to know whether the English fleet will arrive home in time to defend our shores, or might we ordinary folk be compelled to take up arms to defend ourselves? Dr. Foreman, are you ready to beat off the Catholics, come what may?
Am I ready to beat off the... Prithee, madam, let us pray the need never arises. Perchance the stars will offer us some reassurance. Will the Royal Naval Fleet return home in time to defend England from the Spanish Armada? Madam, know you of Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex? Or of Sir Walter Raleigh, perchance?
Oh, young Lord Devereux, such a talented young man. My niece is especially taken with him.
Well, it would seem the pair did take the royal fleet on an expedition to intercept and seize gold being transported back to Spain from the New World. But their plan went awry, and now they are lost at sea. I am afeard that, short of a miracle, a Spanish invasion is indeed imminent.
Her Majesty would risk her realm and the lives of her subjects for the sake of gold. Then now present danger does not surprise me. England's downfall will be God's punishment for our Queen's greed and avarice.
Well, to be fair to Her Majesty, I do not imagine she gave Devereux and Raleigh permission to...
Oh, my days! With a Spanish invasion nigh, I know not how to calm my anxious passions. Methinks I shall take to bed with Paul and Matthew this even.
Oh, yes, I see. The Book of Paul and the Book of Matthew. Aye, verily. Holy Scripture does give great comfort to a distressed mind. God keep ye well, Mistress Payne.
Take care, for say, did you hear what the Countess says about peace? They corrupt your humors and cause cancer tumors, so doubtless they're causing your garden's disease.
Good morrow, Mr. Mugg. Back again so soon. And yet your red spots do seem to have faded.
Aye, of the spotted fever I am cured, for, as he remarked, those spots have near vanished and no new ones are appearing. But my wife does swear they were the work of fleas, and she beat the rugs and banished the dogs from the house to rid us of them. She'll be beating and banishing me next if she has her way.
Well, I am glad to hear you are faring better. What brings you this day?
I have a humoral imbalance and need treating for it.
A humoral imbalance, you say? Well, 'tis true that an imbalance of humours can affect a man's mood. For instance, an excess of black bile, which is a cold, dry humour, can provoke feelings of melancholy, whereas yellow bile
is hot and dry. I thank ye for the explanation, Dr. Foreman, but I did learn all about humours when I took supper with my friend, Mistress Ollingworth. She has a humoral imbalance and takes medicine for it. Hence, I am come this day for medicine to treat my own imbalance.
I see. And what mental symptoms are you experiencing? Any unusual or troubling feelings?
Aye, very troubling. Why, I find myself a-fretting and a-pacing all the day long. Even my wife has remarked upon it.
Anxiety and agitation. Pray tell, did these feelings begin before or after you spoke with your friend, Mistress Ollingworth?
Let me see now. After, methinks. Aye, after. Why? Does that matter?
Yes, quite possibly. But let us see what these stars do have to say. What humoral imbalance does ail my querent, Nicholas Mugg?
Have you a diagnosis yet? This day I am to dine with Mistress Ollingworth, and I wish to tell her all about it.
Aye, 'tis done. You have a choleric temperament, brought on by a minor imbalance of yellow bile. It does oft induce feelings of irritability and impatience in the sufferer, and in severe cases it can provoke outbursts of anger.
I see. How very interesting.
We must counter the excess of this hot, dry humour with wet and cooling elements. Take this powder of violets and salt and boil it in some water. Then you must drink the infusion once it is cooled.
I thank ye for this medicine, Dr. Foreman. But may I trouble you for twice the dose of it? For if the symptoms be what you say, I think my wife had best be taking it as well.
Hear ye, hear ye! Spanish Armada sunk by English storm! Hear ye!
Here comes a son of noble birth. Know you how much his father is worth? For such a boy advantage is bought, entitled to much, deserving of naught.
Oh, sirrah, I have dire need of your counsel.
Pray calm yourself, sir, and tell me of this urgent affair.
Oh, verily, 'tis most urgent. A fair maiden has my heart, a maid with hair of shining gold and eyes so blue the finest sapphires grow pale with envy. But she is a most pious and demure in nature, and has many other suitors. How might I win her favour?
Golden hair? But in our last consultation, let me see here in my notes. Yes, you told me your heart belonged to a maid with hair of onyx black that doth make the finest ebony go grey with envy.
You mean my cousin Marion? Pish! That was naught but a childish fancy. I bid you, foreman, pray focus on the matter at hand, for if you do not help me win my true love's favour, my bursting heart will tear asunder, my soul will wither unto—
Aye, as you will. Let us see what guidance can be had from the stars. How may Lancelot Moore win the heart of this golden-haired maiden? This maid does give off an air of piety, but in truth she is no different from others of her sex. It would seem she hides a secret fondness for jewels and fine nicks and knacks. The stars also indicate that you would do well to make much of your masculine qualities of strength and bravery.
A most excellent plan, foreman. Mayhap I take my love to the finest bear-baiting ring in London. For there she will see I do never flinch at the sight of blood spilled. And as for fine things, I will impress her by wearing twice my usual number of necklaces and earrings. Verily, I will this very moment go to my tailor to order a much wider ruff.
And it's blood she likes a drink. She does care not what you think. Her head may end up down the sink, but Alice cares not what you think.
Good day, Mistress Blagg. What brings you?
Oh, Dr. Foreman, I have worked myself into such a state that I have urgent need of you.
Oh, you have you? Well then, let me just,
Yea, I have urgent need of your counsel. I am certain that my husband Blagg is hiding a shameful secret from me. As you doubtless did note from my flushedness of face and heaving of bosom, I burn with the fever of suspicion and curiosity.
Indeed, I did remark a fever upon your person, and wish fervently that I may bring it to a speedy resolution. Let us see. What is this secret that your husband Thomas Blagg hides from you? I fear the secret your husband hides is a sudden transformation from wealth to pauperdom. For he has been careless with your family's finances by making a series of bad business investments.
Lawks a mercy, that boil-brained chump has ruined us. Upon my virtue, I can hardly bear to think on it. Nay, I cannot even. Say, is that medicinal wine I spy on the shelf behind you, good sir? Prithee, pour your patient a dose of it. Simon makes a fine figure when he reads the stars wisely. Mayhap I stay a while and take wine and a little else with him.
Alas, for little Emma, such sorrows she has borne, since she was made a lady. She has much to mourn. 'Tis vexing, 'tis trying. Alas, for Lady Anne, such sorrow she has borne.
Good day, Mistress Delamere.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. 'Tis Lady Di now. I remarried after poor Mr. Delamere passed.
Verily? Oh, I am full sorry to hear of your husband's demise, my lady.
In truth, the circumstances of his death trouble me still, for my husband was hanged, Dr. Foreman.
By the saints, he was?
Aye, indeed, for I took him to the hangings at Tyburn, as you advised, to cure his quinsy with the hand of a fresh corpse. But there was some confusion with our transport, and my husband somehow found himself in the same cart as the men who were to be hanged. And try as we might, we could not make the hangman heed our protestations. Oh.
On my word, I did never hear of so tragical an error. Oh, what a ghastly business. You must have been most distressed.
Yes, I was. So I hope you will understand why I worry for the health of my new husband, Lord Dyer. Mayhap 'tis not at all, and yet...
And yet you would wish to know so that you may rest easier. Why, of course, my lady. Pray, describe Lord Dyer's troubles to me, no matter how trifling they may seem to you.
Well, I have noted that my husband awakens many times in the night to make water. Mayhap 'tis the reason why he tires so easily during the day. And he does oft complain of thirst and hunger, even after meals.
Frequent urination, tiredness, dog-like appetite, and thirst. Be there anything else?
There is also a small wound on his hand. It does not appear grave, yet it has not healed, even though it be some weeks since he cut himself.
A wound that will not heal. Then let us see what the stars have to say. Be there any grave illness troubling Mr. John Delamere?
Methinks you mean Lord Henry Dyer, Dr. Foreman.
I beseech your pardon, my lady. What illness troubles Lord Henry Dyer? It seemed Lord Dyer suffers from the diabetes. 'Tis a grave case of it, I am afeard.
God mend me. Then how am I to keep my husband from dying of it?
Well, the consumption of lettuce seeds and barley water can help, and you must not allow him to take honey or sweetmeats. In truth, I am a little concerned about the wound on his lordship's hand, though it be minor. 'Tis the diabetes that prevents it from healing.
Oh, then what should be done about it?
Take Lord Dyer to a barber surgeon, where he may have leeches applied to his wound. This will draw out the corrupt blood to hasten the healing. But prithee, be sure that your husband never cuts himself again, for the corruption of blood such cuts occasion in a sufferer of the diabetes, well, they oftentimes prove fatal.
Oh, then I shall do precisely as you advise, Dr. Foreman. I thank ye heartily, sir. Good day.
Here comes Avis Allen, she must have fallen still. Nine else would she have come here, mayhap she's gravely ill.
Good day, Mistress Allen. I hear a child was lately born to you. I trust he is well?
Yes, indeed. God has favoured us with a healthy boy. He is a true blessing to Mr. Allen and me. And we pray he remains so. That is, that this child remains in good health. And as I do ail of something, normally I would not have come, but methinks 'tis best I am treated, for the sake of Marmaduke, lest he take ill from me.
I see. Then pray describe your troubles to me, Mistress Allen.
Well, in truth, 'tis but a cough, but indeed at first I thought 'twas naught but a chilly cold, but 'tis many weeks now, and it lingers still. Forsooth, I am afeard it does grow worse.
Many weeks, you say? Aye, that is most concerning. Let us see what the stars have to say. What ails Mistress Avis Allen, and how may she be cured? Before I complete my judgment, madam, I must ask a question of medical relevance. Who is the true father of your...
God mend me, Simon! You would plague me with your suspicious fancies even now, in my very hour of need. Have you no thought for my son and my... I am full sick of your jealous delusions. Oh, verily, I should never have come. I will bid ye good day now, Simon.
But would you not wish to know what ails you?
Indeed, I would. Which is why I will be finding myself another doctor.
When the story seems bold, crucial facts left untold. When the story seems bold, crucial facts left untold. When Foreman protests, he has pushed to the testes. Ferraro, Signor Ferraro.
Good day, Signor Ferraro. How may I do you service?
How may you do me service, huh? 'Tis the question, is it not? I do hear you offer many different services, huh? Not just in medicine, for you are a dottore of a special kind, one who gives answers to all the problems, see?
Forsooth, 'tis true, Signor. In my practice, I endeavor to treat the whole man, mind, body, soul, the location of his missing household items. All are connected at a holistic level. I take it this time you are come about a problem that does not pertain to a bodily complaint?
See, tis my mama. She does worry night and day. She say, Ricardo, you must go to the wise man who reads the stars and have him tell you what your future holds. I say, Mama, if it'll make you happy, I will go to Signor Foreman and ask him.
I see. And is there any particular reason for your mother to be thus concerned? Be you faced with some kind of imminent danger?
A particular reason, you say? Nay, signor, she needs no reason to worry. Mia madre is an Italian, mama.
Ah, yes, of course.
You see now, huh? She is not like these London mamas who make the children live in a cupboard with the dog.
Well, then, mayhap the stars might offer your devoted mother some comfort. What does the future hold for Riccardo Ferraro and his mother? I am afeard these stars reveal information of a most disturbing nature.
Verily?
Aye. When you first came to me, you did tell me that you worked in trade. And yet my chart very plainly indicates that you are an authority figure, connected with a learned institution over which you hold a position of responsibility. Indeed, it would seem that you are not who you say you are. Do you deny it, Signor?
Oh, sirrah! You would accuse me of calling myself something I am not? Look at you, sirrah, a charlatan who would call himself a doctor. You are naught but a pretender.
Fie, sir! It is you who are the pretender, for 'tis clear you are not the merchant of Venice you pretend to be. Who are you? What is your true name, sir?
You will know it in time, sirrah, for we shall meet again. I bid you good day, Dr. Foreman.